Lesson 12 for December 14 to 20, Dealing with Bad Decisions. Friday, December 20. From the book Prophets and Kings, page 676, we read, Industry in a God-appointed duty is an important part of true religion. Men should see circumstances as God's instruments with which to work his will. Prompt and decisive action at the right time will gain glorious triumphs, while delay and neglect result in failure and dishonour to God. If the leaders of the cause of truth show no zeal, if they are indifferent and purposeless, the church will be careless, indolent, and pleasure-loving. But if they are filled with a holy purpose to serve God and Him alone, the people will be united, hopeful, eager. The Word of God abounds in sharp and striking contrasts. Sin and holiness are placed side by side, that beholding we may shun the one and accept the other. The pages that describe the hatred, falsehood, and treachery of Sanballat and Tobiah describe also the nobility, devotion, and self-sacrifice of Ezra and Nehemiah. We are left free to copy either as we choose. The fearful results of transgressing God's commands are placed over against the blessings resulting from obedience. We ourselves must decide whether we will suffer the one or enjoy the other. End of quote. That brings us to our 3 discussion questions for this week. As we read these stories, it seems clear that many of the people weren't dedicated to God in the first place, which is why they chose pagan wives. Thus, Ezra doesn't just leave them to their own devices, but attempts to reprove and correct them in hopes of achieving change. Did the change truly occur, though? By changing their behaviour, did they change within? Did their devotion to God truly grow? What evidence do we have that many of them didn't really change? What can we learn from their mistakes about how important a change of heart really is? 2. What are ways that we can help those in our church who might be struggling with the problems that come with unwise marriages? 3. Though God's principles are eternal and absolute, cultures vary greatly. Why must we keep these differences in mind as we seek to apply God's principles to our own lives and situations? Inside Story. Our mission story this week is titled God's Math, and it's by Andrew McChesney of Adventist Mission. Jenny Becker, a genteel South African with wavy blonde hair, was deployed into Vietnam's capital with $2 million and the momentous task of establishing the Seventh-day Adventist Church's first urban centre of influence in the Southeast Asian country. Becker, however, struggled to find a suitable property in Hanoi. The asking price for a vacant lot topped $2 million and often approached $3 million to $4 million. Becker prayed as he made trip after trip to Hanoi from the Singapore-based headquarters of the Adventist Church's Southeast Asian Union Mission, where he works as special assistant to the president. "I've lost count of how many trips I've made to Vietnam," Becker said. "It may be 15 or 20 maybe." Becker was assigned the job after Adventist Church President Ted N.C. Wilson appealed for a community centre to serve the people of Hanoi in 2014. Wilson, who spoke after visiting the city and leading milestone evangelistic meetings in Ho Chi Minh City, pledged to help raise the needed funds, with the understanding that he would match the amount contributed by the Southern Asia-Pacific Division and Southeast Asia Union Mission. In the end, the Adventist World Church gave $1 million and the Division and Union each gave $500,000. But Becker couldn't find a plot of land. The properties that he inspected cost too much or were badly located. A potential deal fell through. Then a friend of a friend introduced Becker to a developer who owned a lot and was constructing a 7-story building on it. The developer wanted only $1.8 million for everything. The moment that Becker saw the property, he knew it was perfect. Bureaucracy and other snags delayed the purchase for months. Another buyer caught wind of the property and offered a larger amount of money. Becca kept praying, and the developer ultimately rejected the new offer, saying the Adventist plan sought to benefit the community and not enrich the owners. Becca beamed with joy on May 22, 2018, as Wilson and other leaders inaugurated the 7-story building, which will house a bookstore, a health food store, a foreign language school, a music school, a health centre, ADRA's Vietnam headquarters, and meeting halls for 2 congregations. God came through in a more miraculous way than I ever anticipated, Becca said. He gave us more than we prayed for. We give all honour and glory to him. This week's lesson has been read by Dr. Percy Harrold from Queensland, Australia. It is brought to you by Hope Channel, the Sabbath School Department, and through the services of Christian Services for the Blind. A video of this podcast also occurs on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.